The Jake over continues as Jake Renick Simpson graced the stage yet again with Dave Matthews Band, this time just outside of Buffalo. The Bills may not have a shot to win the Super Bowl, but they definitely got a chance to take in more violin in New York. The D&B post-show stream starts now.
It's your boy Concert Viz 34 back at home.
What up, what up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34.
Yep, so your boy Concert Viz 34 coming to you here.
What up, what up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34. Aria. Okay, so this is Aria, and just tell us a little bit about yourself and about your love for the Dave Matthews Band.
I've been a fan of the band since April 28, 1998, and if you recognize the date, that's when Before These Crowded Streets was released.
Alpine is definitely a better venue than Summerfest, but we'll take it. I think I've been going to shows for about 20-something years.
I always tell people, like, compare DMB to now to when I first started. And I got started, in my opinion, I feel like I got started late. Like, I was at the very end of the band's prime. I feel like that 03 to 06 was like the end of the prime. 07, 08 was like, you know, we're at the very end. And then when Roy passed.
But Dave really, this is the thing. Dave has put, Rashawn has been assigned the quarterback of this team. He is the coach, the play caller. He designs the jams. Dave just shows up and plays whatever he's going to play. Upstate New York, what up? Shout out Amherst. Shout out Utica. Bro, I need another Utica pie, man. Shout out Rochester. Syracuse, what up? Your men's basketball team is trash, but that's okay. Niagara Falls, what up? Jamestown, what up? Seneca, what up? Hamburg, what up? Let's go, Buffalo. Tell Pagula to put money into the Sabres, please. Tage Thompson, what up? Shout out Seneca Falls. Central New York, stand up too. We still love you. Shout out Cooperstown. Man, raise the speed limit on the New York Thruway. For real. Get that up to 70, 75 in the middle of nowhere. Come on, Kathy. Raise the speed limit. What up, what up? It's your boy Conserviz 34, and we have the Jake over still in effect. I mean, this is a great sign for this upcoming week. We only have 2 shows left this week, but Jake comes to SPAC, plays 2 shows, 2 of the best shows I've ever seen, albeit my first show was 2012. Missed a lot of great years from this band, but the 2 of the best shows I've seen. because the violin stuck around. And so the fact that we still have Jake Renick Simpson on tour in the middle of the week in Darien Lake, that is a better thrill than any ride at the Six Flags right by this venue. So everyone in Pittsburgh, there's a little bit more hope. Everyone like me going to Harvard, there's a little bit more hope. Again, just make sure that you understand that, nothing is for certain, but if the dude gonna be up in here in Western New York, I don't see why he wouldn't stick around for Pittsburgh Metro and for the 860 Hartford, Connecticut, my hometown. And it changes everything. I have very little to criticize about this band right now. You guys know I'm not just about hating on the band because I love this band. But they are doing so much to entertain every stop that they have since Guilford. Now, that hasn't been a lot of stops, and I'm sure people from from earlier in July and in June wish they could have gotten this is here now. I wish everyone could get what this band is doing right now. I'm not a gatekeeper, right? If I had it always played at Guilford, I hope other people get it. That Seek Up I got at Spec, I hope everybody get that. Obviously everyone can't, but I'm saying I hope it keeps getting played. The band played Can't Stop. I don't like Can't Stop. I don't care that they played it today. The band played every day. I'm not usually a fan, but when you have violin, it's something different to add in, as it should be. The band played Typical Situation in the 3 spot tonight. And so this show, before Jake show flow is very weird. Just like SPAC Night 1, you get a Liberation and Long Black Veil, but then you get, Stay to Open. 5 times it's open to show. The last 2 times have been the last 2 years. And then you get Grace Is Gone in the 4 spot. Recently comes back, which is awesome. After 17 shows, Monsters comes back. You Might Die Trying is repeated from SPAC Night 2. But I don't care. The whole thing, they had one repeat from, PMP is a segue song. But they have one full song repeat from SPAC Night 2, which was the last show. Technically, there was supposed to be a Jones Beach show. We'll get to that later in the stream. But, there's a little bit before Jake comes on stage, there's a little bit of everything. For people who like Stay, it's there. What Would You Say is always a great sing-along. Classic song from their debut album. And then you get to a typical long form jam. Then you get to Grace, Slow It Down, a beloved song, Buddy on the keys there at the end. And then you bring Recently in, and it's like, oh, okay. All right, let's go. I always love when Recently is around in the sets. Like I said, Monster comes back, You Might Die Trying. Then you get a Gravedigger. And it kind of slows down. You're like, yo, wait, okay. Gravedigger, the 8 spot, what's going on? And then you get Long Black Veil. Now, this song this is mostly when I'm looking at Facebook. I try to tap into every different segment of the online fan base. Long Black Veil has been a chase for a lot of fans in the Facebook world, as far as a cover they would like to see, or just a general performance of a song. And so today, when watching the couch tour, when this joint came off, everyone at home was like, oh, I wish I was there. I wish I was there. Oh no, what? People going crazy. And so for some fans that don't like covers, maybe I don't want to hear this song. But for those who like covers, and even some fans who don't really like most covers, Long Black Veil is a chase. Last played Gorge Night 3, 2023. And it comes back tonight. And so I think just the fact it's a Wednesday and this is Western New York that doesn't get 2 night stands. right? That pretty much is thrown in the middle of the week. They don't get many weekend shows, if any. Recent in the last, I can't remember the last weekend show in Western New York or Central New York. Maybe like a Dave and Tim and Canandaigua, and that contract ended because they left that distributor, Constellation Brands, right? Dreaming Tree left, so that's over. That's not. It's over. It's a wrap. But other than Dave and Tim, when they don't get a weekend show, and so to get a long black veil, that is a special thing for the folks out there in Western New York, who, by the way, were in strong force at SPAC. And SPAC is further for the people in Western New York and the Buffalo Metro than it is for someone like me in Connecticut, or even some friends I have in Massachusetts and the Boston. Boston is closer to SPAC than Buffalo. And so it's one of those things, those Bills Mafia, the Bills Mafia travels well to SPAC. And so now they're closer to home if they decided to go to this show and they get a special liberation there. This keeps the streak of tour debuts going just by one song, and we'll see if it keeps up. You get Can't Stop, like I said, it is what it is. And then Jake Renick Simpson comes on for Every Day, and I'll tell you this, I did not like that the wah pedal that Boyd had in the way he played his electric violin for Every Day. I just it wasn't for me. The buddy thing is cool, right? And I always thought it got the crowd engaged. And so that was kind of a holdover. And now we have violin back. And I thought Jake just did it great. I thought he did a great job listening on Couch Tour. Here's the awesome thing. This is what's awesome about being a D&B fan right now. If you have a if you have a Nug subscription, we're gonna be able to listen to this likely tomorrow afternoon. And so I'll be able to listen to this every day and just really see how it, with better audio. Okay, what do I think? And what I heard on the Couch Tour, I thought it was like, okay, this sound already sounds 10 times better than what Boyd did, respectfully. People loved what Boyd did with that E-violin and the wah pedal. Wrap it up, bro. Wrap it up, my G. I love you. I shouldn't say I love you, boy. I don't. But I do hope Boyd is well, and somehow finds a way to get things together. I know he's had a lot that's happened in his life, but I didn't like that everyday stuff that he used to do. I don't miss it. So Jake adds a new element to this song that probably even scarred the band, because they had to go through Boyd on Every Day in the last 5 to 10 years of the band, where it was rough, hit or miss. American Baby comes back, skips back, but it comes here to Darien Lake. And I think that's a good thing. I think it's great that, hey, listen, Darien Lake gets this song that wasn't at SPAC, last played at Guilford, close out the set in Guilford. And so now you get something special here. So for fans who are from this area, Western New York, they went to SPAC for 2 amazing nights, like the audio I'm getting from D-Rock that I'm going to play in a second. He got this American Baby tonight, but didn't get it at SPAC, so get more diversity. No Jimmy thing at SPAC, and so you get Jimmy thing here. No Satellite at SPAC, and I'm happy for those who like Satellite who got it. A little bit of teetering of like trying to do an intro, just like he did at Guilford. The Guilford one was a lot more extended, but it seems like Dave is trying to mess around with it, trying to maybe bring back an intro to Satellite. One had a couple of examples of Dave having an intro. There's some other preludes and intros throughout the history of D&B with Satellite. Then you get P&P into Rapunzel, and straight into Rapunzel, no tricks of the trade, but Rapunzel with violin is always good. Then you get the Billies, which is just that, hey, this song needs violin. And so they're playing it more frequently this tour. This was the 10th performance at the venue, 10th Billies at the venue, 10th performance of the song for the tour. And that's awesome. And then you get a very powerful Don't Drink the Water to close out the set. So that's your main set. Paper Town with Jake in the E1. Hey, this E1, you know what's interesting is I would put this Encore 1 head to head with either SPAC night. And the reason I say that is don't look at what was played second. SPAC's Encore 1s were okay. That was like, and again, I wasn't complaining that night. I didn't even care that they played Peace on Earth, and what was the other one? So they played Peace on Earth or night 2, and then SPAC night 1 they played Making It Great, which to me is the least, like I thought that song needed to be shelved. I understand the message Dave was trying to do. I don't think I don't like the songwriting on it. So I'll put this encore head to head with either night of SPAC. And just to read it off in full for you guys, the SPAC night 1 was Making It Great and Lie in Our Graves, right? And yeah, Lie in Our Graves, you could argue, there's some power to that with fiddle, but again, the E1 was meh. And then Peace on Earth and Two Step, right? I'd put this E1, this encore, E1 and E2 head to head with either night. So I think if you only could make this show, like you got some special things, you got Jake on violin, you got a Long Black Veil Liberation. Do we need Satellite again? Do we need a Jimmy thing? It depends on who you ask. But either way, like I just can't complain on this stuff when Jake is popping in and playing violin. Plain and simple. Another thing that I've been noticing, the last time a Big Whiskey song was played was the Encore 2 spot a week ago when I was in Guilford, New Hampshire for Guilford Night 2. I don't look at that as a negative. I look at that as a positive. Big Whiskey was a critical album. It was the last really, really commercially successful album the band had, in my opinion. Away from the World, like they got Away from the World, got the number 1 spot. Come Tomorrow did. Walk Around the Moon didn't get the number 1 spot. But those albums were not as commercially successful as the band's past. That's okay. They're so deep into their career. That's not a big deal. But Big Whiskey was a powerful album that brought on thousands upon thousands of fans that are around my age. I'm 35. And it gave the band a different sound to attract people who like more high energy rock music. But that said, it's been beaten to a bloody pulp. So I think giving it a break is a positive. I'm going to try to put together something for next show on why this tour, some positives about this tour and the way the sets are being formulated that makes this the best time to get some of the most unique show flows and the unique songs every single night you're going to get in any time of DMB history. So I'm going to try to work on something, and I'll have a graph if I get it done in time. There'll be a graph to show you the number of Big Whiskey plays. But Big Whiskey being played less and allowing other songs to shine, allowing Away from the World to get more love this tour. Every day we have more everyday songs than we've had in a long, long time in rotation. Right? And so that, to me, those are net positives. If I go to what Andy sent me from the Almanac, we have the most Away from the World songs since 2015 in rotation. 8 everyday songs, first time since 2003, which had 9. So the most everyday songs in rotation that have been played since 2003. I mean, this is a great time to see this band and get a lot of variety. And I think that variety is important because the cost of everything has gone up for concerts, for hotels, for flights. And so if you're investing in some of these shows this week, there is a good chance that you're going to get a partly fiddle show. And that's a great thing. All right, so the poster, let's go ahead and go over to the poster. This is by Ryan Besh. And it's different. All right, it's different. but it's different. I'll say that. I would not put this on my wall personally, but art is subjective. But I do like how, again, I just want to stress it's different. And there's been a lot of posters, and just it's not. Listen, there's only so many poster ideas you can create, and so the venue is right next to Six Flags out there, and so that's likely why you have that theme. Six Flags, Darien Lake, and so that's my guess on why this was has these different themes. So again, not for me to buy, but I think it's different, and I think it does have a crowd, does have an audience. All right, so next thing I want to talk about here is someone said free Dodo in the comments. Yeah, free my dog Dodo, full band Dodo. I would love to see that at Hartford. Next thing I want to talk about is the Jones Beats postponement. I won't be here long tonight. Jones Beats postponement. It's been rescheduled already, and so it is going to be July 29th. You'll be able to see that show next week. So Hartford will not be the last show of this leg. I'm kind of sad about that. I was excited that the band was going to leave it all on the floor for Hartford. Shout out to Stupid Almanac. I see you. Part of the Slightly Stupid Street team, and been a great supporter of mine and friend. Shout out to Stupid Almanac. So let's go to this note. Let me switch over here and I'll set up the note. There was a post on a Jones Beach Facebook group which kind of broke down this, but I'll tell you this. Let's start. Let's start here. Okay, so yesterday, there were tornadoes in New Jersey, Ohio, and I hope everyone is safe. I hope everyone who may have been affected is as positive as they can be, or can endure whatever you're going through, because there were some tornadoes across the various parts of the country yesterday. And so part of that was the Dave Matthews Band show in Nassau County, Jones Beach, was postponed. And some fans were already there. Some fans were on the way. Some fans were about to leave. The show got postponed. Oh, I got to read the review. I'll do that after this. I'll read the review from D-Rock after this. But so someone posted in this, and they kind of have, they work on productions similar to what D&B is doing. So this is what they wrote. I want to read this off, and then I want to provide some additional context, because I live about 2 hours and 30 minutes or so from Jones Beach with average traffic. It can get longer in the summertime, depending on how much traffic or an accident. But I'm a state over from there. And if there was a straight line, if I could drive a straight line right to Jones Beach, it would be even quicker to get to. The reason it takes so long is because I have to go through Greenwich, Connecticut, go all the way down to the bottom southwest part of Connecticut, go around New York City, and then turn into Long Island. So that's why it's that long. But I'm not from a distance wise. If a straight line from me to Jones Beach, it's not as far. And so some of the storms and stuff impacted parts of southern Connecticut, about an hour from me. And I'll add some more context after I read this. All right, so this is from the Facebook group D&B Jones Beats. This person says, as someone who works in productions of this level, I'd like to give some folks a bit more perspective on why tonight's show was called off. Some great comments have been made, but I think the crux of the cause hasn't been called out. On tours of this size with venues at this level, whether planning and contingencies are built into the workflows from the get-go, Weather forecasts are being consulted on a daily basis prior to the show, and potential weather events are being actively monitored by managers on both sides. It wouldn't surprise me if phone calls and emails about today were being exchanged as early as yesterday morning. So he's talking about Monday morning for this Tuesday show that was postponed Tuesday evening. In these kind of discussions, let's scroll down here. In these kind of discussions, alternative dates are being cross-checked against the venue's calendar as well as the tour's routing to see if anything can be contingently agreed upon. There are also checklists made in terms of curfew times and availability to extend a curfew if one is in place. Confirmation on what criteria is met for a delay versus a cancellation, what safety criteria must be adhered to, and what deadlines are for the decisions to be made. Ultimately, tonight's postponement likely came down to safety metrics, forecasts, and weather advisories, and logistical timing. The wind was kicking up, and the equipment, such as the lighting and the sound system, are heavy enough they could become dangerous to the crew and to the in the wrong sustained wind. The tornado watch also put a significantly heavy burden on the venue from a liability standpoint because God forbid something happened. The little government weather agency called out the dangerous conditions to the public. And lastly, having to break all that gear down and load it back on the trucks to get to Darien is a long and arduous task that takes a lot of manpower to do in the right conditions, let alone in literal storm conditions, and while having to evacuate a crowded amphitheater pavilion. I understand folks are upset about all of this, but from an industry member standpoint, this was absolutely the correct call. Hopefully some of y'all can make the makeup date. Y'all can come and make the makeup date. So I think, you know what I think is interesting? I think there were fans who were disappointed. I talked to a fan who I think they couldn't get a refund from Live Nation or Ticketmaster. I don't know if that's changed, but they were upset about that. They had messaged me, and I get that because I was part of the Alpine Dave NATO. I also was a part of a show where Dave and Tim played a show in Bridgeport, Connecticut. And actually, there was a tornado on Long Island across Long Island Sound. Bridgeport is right on the edge of the water in Connecticut. On Long Island Sound, that channel of water goes right across Long Island. There was a tornado on the other side of that sound channel that, that show was cut short. And I missed, A Fool to Think was cut off the set list. I'd never heard Fool to Think when that show happened. So I was a little bummed, but long story short, there's a couple of things here. First and foremost, there was a radar detected tornado in Rye, New York, and Purchase, New York. It went through that area right by the Connecticut border. So that is less than an hour away from Jones Beach, right? In perfect driving conditions, no traffic, you can get from there to Jones Beach in less than an hour. Now, obviously traffic and something, but I'm saying distance-wise, it's not that far. And so a tornado is just to the northwest, a radar detected tornado. I'm sure I haven't seen updates, but I'm sure the National Weather Service will look at the damage to confirm if there's evidence that supports that it's a tornado did touch down, but there's a lot of damage. And so that's just northwest of the venue. If that storm would have been 5 or 10 miles further south, who knows what happens at Jones Beach? So even though conditions were clear after the cancellation, the weather didn't get worse, it cleared up. It's all about statistics and odds and different things. And Jones Beach happened to avoid the worst of it, but New York City, just northwest of it, Fairfield County at the Westchester County line, the Connecticut-New York border, had a tornado or a radar detected tornado, and some of the parkways between Connecticut and Jones Beach and New Jersey to get from Jersey to Jones Beach, some of the parkways were flooded and they were shut down because literally cars were submerged in water. So even if a fan traveled to the Jones Beach parking lots and they got there early from New York or from Jersey, some of the parkways to avoid the interstate traffic literally were shut down. So you gotta postpone that show, and so that they can figure out, even if it's a longer drive, they got to figure out if they can get home. They got to figure out what they're going to do. Maybe they need to grab something to eat and just stay in place until some of the flood waters, maybe they get better. But you have people that are driving to this show from Connecticut, from Jersey, from other parts of the New York metro, that the parkways that they use to get there are flooded and underwater. And so now all this traffic is flowing through the interstate. And as this post mentions, I know some of you guys like, oh, I was at the Alpine Dave NATO. But part of that is I was at that too. But the biggest difference is the Alpine Dave NATO. The problem with that event was they waited too long to postpone that show. They should have postponed that Dave NATO show like an hour before they actually did it. And they should have had that venue evacuated and had people go to their cars. Or go to, if you don't have a car, go to one of the buildings in the Alpine campus that was safe, like a bathroom, an innermost room of those to protect yourself. The Alpine Dave NATO, they waited too long. There was poor communication. People from the venue were leaving. Certain staff was leaving the venue. You saw people driving out that were staff, and they weren't telling anyone why they were leaving. And the reason is they knew the event was already postponed. But it wasn't communicated to the fans. And a lot of fans, there could have been a huge lawsuit. If that tornado just shifted a little bit more and actually hit Alpine dead on, or one of the tornadoes, there's multiple, it would have been huge liability. For this event, they made the call before 6 o'clock. I think it was around 4 or 5 o'clock. They made the call. They waited to see if maybe things would get better. But then all of a sudden you have a tornado watch. You have tornadoes allegedly possibly touching down at the New York Connecticut border. What you have flooding in the parkways in New York, the New York City metro. And so they postponed it. So it was the right call. And again, if you don't live in this area, maybe you live in the Midwest. Maybe I know some people out. I love my guy Ron from out in he's in Oregon, but he's like, oh, this is stupid. I'm like, bro, you don't understand. You're in the Pacific Northwest. You don't understand how New York City floods. Like New York City floods all the time when you get some heavy rain and these type of storms. And it absolutely flooded. The infrastructure flooded. And this venue is on the beach. So the winds from off the water, they kick up a lot different than if you're going to a venue in the Midwest or out in the Pacific Northwest. It's a whole different beast. The venue is literally out into the water. And so it floods all the time. And they've gotten through floods, but when you have a severe storm and you have winds that are very high, you can't have these speakers swinging around. Crew could get hurt, or worse, fans if they're there. And so even like a show, if you guys went to Northley Island a couple years back when they had to cut that set short, they cut the set short because of the wind pushing the speakers and other equipment. So yeah, there you go. That's I just wanted to break that down. I think most of the fans who were there understand it. Some were upset and other people were complaining. It's very weird. There's an odd contingent of people that used to be diehard DMB fans. For whatever reason, they no longer like the band, which is fine. That's fine. But every time something happens like this, they pop into the woodwork and they're always commenting. And it's like, dude, get off Dave's bumper. All right. Get off his bumper. If Dave is so bad, go enjoy another band. You can't. You can't, because all your life is still, if you saw Dave tomorrow, you'd be all giddy and drool over him. But on Facebook, you have to talk about, oh, I don't like him and he's political. And anyway, that's how it's a very weird thing. Like if you don't like Dave or maybe you've had enough, just walk away. but people have to like still creep around and look at the comments and get all the updates. They know more about the band than diehard fans, even though they claim to not like Dave anymore. Anyway, that's enough energy wasted on that. Those people. Let's play the audio that D-Rock gave me. This is from. Oops. Oh shoot! Sorry, I was supposed to be on there.
Marcus.
Yeah, we'll play it. We'll play this audio.
Marcus. Hello again. I'm a little hoarse. I got my voice back after SPAC. However, I mean, I know the joke is like, oh, the energy, but for a Darien Lake show, I mean, Dave pretty much was like, hey, I've been here 30 years. Let's throw these guys a good show. That was definitely the loudest crowd I've heard in a while. Probably the best Darien show in at least, I would say, maybe 10, 15 years. The old school start, you know, the Remember Two Things songs. I love a Stay Opener, typical recently. Long Black Veil Liberation, out of nowhere, right? And then, you know, kind of a little bit of a lull, but when you have Everyday and Jimmy Thing and stuff and Satellite with Jake, I mean, he really just is the straw that stirs the drink. You know, I enjoyed it a lot. And then they came back into form with Rapunzel, Billy's, and Don't Drink Closer. Don't Drink, I think, is the Darien Lake song. I've heard that more than anything here. So we walked to the aisle from our seats, and my buddy's like, hey, you want to go to the car? I'm like, yeah, but that's the Last Stop guitar. And I mean, if he's going to play it here, I'll go nuts. So that version was insane. So car horns are going off. I mean, we're getting ready for Josh Allen going to the Super Bowl. Last stop in Buffalo. I mean, how can you complain? After that SPAC weekend, I mean, it's the cherry on top of the SPAC weekend. So that's my summer. Hope you're well. Always appreciate you. Always love talking to you, texting you. You know, you're the best that the Dave fans have to offer. I'm glad you do this. Talk to you soon. Go Bills.
All right. I feel bad for Bills fans because these tickets are so expensive. The PSLs, the whole state of New York had to pitch in for that new stadium. Anyway, no, I'm sad. Yeah, shout out to D-Rock there and gave us some perspective. So yeah, there you go. There's a fan perspective, excitement for Darien Lake. The last show they had here is and that's the thing is the shows, some of the recent shows, this show was really good for Darien Lake. This is definitely a highlight show. Like he said, loudest he's heard it in years. And so great to see that. What else? We'll talk more Hartford next show because I'll be there. But if you're going to Hartford, Savannah Bananas are playing the same night as DMB. They will have festivities all day into the game that night. So parking, if you're from out of town, I would get to Hartford around 3:00 and adjust for Saturday traffic too. I would get to Hartford around 3:00, and there's two things you can do. But we'll talk more about that next show. But you could either park by the venue in some of the paid lots of small businesses that open up to get some revenue from DMB fans, or you can park downtown and walk. And there are police there that can escort you. And again, we'll talk more about that next show for those who are going to be there in Hartford. I will be there. I will be right in the lowers, right on the railing of right behind the pit. I think I'm the first row behind the pit. So if you're in the pit and want to say hi, I'm on the buddy side of that pit railing, the back pit railing, not the front, obviously. That'd be, yeah, I'm not sitting on stage. But Pittsburgh on Friday, Burgettstown is in Metro Pittsburgh. And Saturday, they come to Hartford. Then next week, they make up the Jones Beach show there. The Hammer in the comments says completely understands why it was postponed, but it's still wild that we didn't get a drop of rain in the wind. Nothing crazy. either. Very minimal, but the correct call safety wise. Yep. So he's right down the Hammer. I know he said he's really right down the street from the venue, so he's very close. This is his home stomping grounds, and he has all his awesome Yeti coolers. I really, yeah, he's got a nice setup there. Let's see if we can pull it up. We'll pull it up. Let me get it on Twitter. But he's got some Yeti coolers and things like that. That I thought are pretty official, man. When he not just one, not two, but three. Let's see if I can find it. Pretty cool setup, and so he'll be there. We have to get him on. All right, so this is his setup for right there. So he's got the bean bags, got the truck. And look at all those Yeti coolers. You can't see it, but those are official, man. You know, he's ready to go. There. So, very cool. All right, we'll close out with the Jake Renick Simpson pig from SPAC Night 1. If you guys have videos, I have a Jake Over playlist that I put together on YouTube. I filled in certain parts of Friday, mixed in some Sirius XM audio there, and just to give it some higher quality in my videos there. I will be making a couple of multi-cams on the way. If you have videos for these shows, definitely message me. If I haven't responded yet, I will get to you. It's been this whole week's been crazy between all the shows. People, hey, you want to meet up? And I love it all. I love it, but I'm not used to having all these messages and DMs. But I'm pretty sure I've responded to most people. But if you have videos, reach out to me. I'll get you a link for the Dropbox. If you don't hear from me by this weekend, try to hit me up again. Hey, just remind you. Guilford Night 1 and 2 multi-cams. I have plans for those. And then SPAC Night 1, I have a plan for that one as well. You'll see the pig from here, but I want to definitely capture the greatness of this band. To Steph, shout out to her, Into the Vacuum. They've sent me great 4K video to add into the video I have already recorded from SPAC Night 1 and the Guilford shows. I also have some people that are sending in video that is really solid so far. So I'm excited to put together those multi-cams. It may take a bit, but I'm going to try to work as quickly as possible to get those videos out, because these were incredible shows last week, and they're continuing this momentum into this week. If you have any doubts on Pittsburgh or Hartford, I would buy a lawn ticket at minimal. If not, if you can find a seat last minute that's below face. There are people that have had to cancel Hartford. They're just wasn't in the plans. They've been on tour with the band for the last week and a half, and they have to sell their Hartford tickets. So be on the lookout, Cash or Trade, the different Facebook groups, for some last minute deals. There are people trying to get rid of tickets that can't make it to Hartford. So yeah, let's close out with the pig from SPAC Night 1. Check out my YouTube. Well, you're on my YouTube page, you're watching this. I got some of those videos up now, including that epic seek up, the big eye fish and the bartender in one video, no cutoff. I wanted to give y'all the whole presentation there. I may add a couple more single cams, which is just my video and some Sirius XM audio. May add a couple more in a little bit, or in the next couple of days. Otherwise, I'm going to get working on these multi-cams. I'll see you guys Friday. It's your boy ConstantViz34. Thank you guys for watching. Free Dodo. Just kidding. Just kidding. Wrong scene change there. All right, this one should work here.
Thank you very much. I would move, I would What if a great wave should wash us all away? Just thinking of that. I don't mean to dwell on this dying thing, but look at our blood. It's alive right now, deep and sweet within, pouring through our veins. Intoxicate, move those wine to tears and drinking it deeply. On an evening spent dancing, it's you and me. Oh, just love will open our eyes. Only love puts a hope back in our minds. Much more than we could ever know. Oh, so don't throw the day. Not enough. This tiny sip of life, is it not enough? I stare down at the ground. Grind my teeth, pray, God give me more from above. We greed a little pig. Stop and watch the world as it withers away. But it's not my problem now. I'll be dead and gone in a few short years. Oh, just love will open our eyes. Only love can put the hope back in our minds. Much more than we could ever know. Oh, so don't throw your day away. Such a lovely night, staring into space, I must say. I feel as small as dust lying down here. Oh, what point could there be troubling?